Welcome back to another episode of Beauty Business Mindset Podcast. This is Celeste. I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We are going to get this party started. So today we're going to be talking, and I'm laughing because, yes, I know, you're first going to be like, what? But trust me, it's actually a very good episode. Spoiler alert, this is about the movie Sing 2. I know, right? You're like, wait, what? A movie? Yes, we're going to be talking about success. The fear of losing it, how it keeps us small. Why do we focus so much on what we have today when there's always something better tomorrow? The importance of having faith within ourselves, believing in ourselves, going after our dreams, but also whether you believe in God, the universe, source, energy, whatever your ultimate belief is, allowing life also to do its magic for you, even when it seems like everything is falling apart. I'm going to be sharing a few examples from my own business and life journey in this, and the biggest lessons that I've learned. I wanted to be a history teacher. That was my ultimate dream. I know, really weird, when I was in high school. And it's because I learned so much from history. I loved learning history, all the past mistakes, the things, the tribulations, and the growth that happens throughout our history, no matter what year we're in, no matter whether it's 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, 20 years ago. We're constantly evolving. For me, I love learning from other people's experiences so I can try to have more knowledge on how to better partake in my own life. And I hope that this helps you in guiding you. Why I truly believe in the having the fear of losing what you actually have, and the fear of having the success that everybody sees as the term of what success, and not having an actual meaning, a personal meaning of what success means to you, can really hinder you or hurt you from becoming your best higher self, from going to the next level, from having the opportunity to have a better life and a better business. So let's get to it. Okay, so the spoiler alert is that we're going to be talking about the movie Sing 2. If you haven't seen it, if you have no interest in seeing it, good. It's a kid's movie. I loved it. I made my sister watch it. She's not really big into kids movies, but she actually really enjoyed it. So we're going to be talking about this because all this idea for this podcast came from that. And it just really made me cry, and it made me really think about this and how people don't really share that. And I love the messages that are hidden between movies for children, because it starts preparing them at a young age to empower themselves, to believe in themselves, and also that, you know, maybe there is this possibility that the things that may seem sucky right now are going to be the wisdom that you carry out throughout your life. So let's get to it. So in this movie, he has a theater, right? He wanted to bring up his theater. It's popular. His shows are sold out. But now they want to go to the big leagues. They want to go to where all the shows, the best shows are shown at, which is in Las Vegas type of situation, okay? So they have a promoter come in. They're doing the performance. And in the halfway of the show, the promoter leaves. And so Mr. Moon, which is played by Matthew McConaughey, he asked the promoter why she's leaving so soon, like the show's not over yet. And she tells him that they are not good enough, that they're a cute little small town show. And this is one of the first lessons that I really resonated with me in this movie, is that how many times have we ever heard from an outside source or an outside noise, or maybe just our inner thoughts, that we're not good enough, that maybe staying small or being successful in the arena that we're in is good enough and we should stay there? And why are we even going to try to go higher? And why are we even going to try to go for a bigger dream? How many times have we ever heard that within our own lives? And that has happened to me many times. And sometimes it's not just people around you. Sometimes it's with negative comments or people attacking you, whatever it may be. Or, you know, maybe it's your circumstances. Maybe right now you're not in a point or a position where you feel like you can go to the next level. And sometimes those little thoughts or those people can get in our way of our dreams. So when he hears this, he gets really upset, right? Like most of us do, like I would do. I'll be like, oh my gosh. And he becomes so dramatic, and he put on this song all by myself and all sad, right? And the one who bought the theater tells him, well, because she was a former like big star. She's like, if you're going to let one bad comment or somebody telling you no stop you, like you don't deserve your big dream. So he decides that it's true. He is capable of it, and he believes, and this is the key, he believes that he can take himself and his crew, his team, right, of actors for the show to go to Vegas. And they get on the bus, and they don't have an appointment, and they go through struggles, but they get into the show. So in this part, it's us taking the bus. Did you know it doesn't matter what titles or things happen? Sometimes you need to have that grit, that feistiness inside you, that tenacity to go after what you want. So if you don't know me yet, I'm Celeste. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, sister, human. And also I have taught on stage. I have been paid to teach on stage. I have been paid to talk. I have been paid to teach other hairstylists. I was formerly a branded educator. Then I became an international, branded educator for a company. I have been published in magazines and articles in the newspaper and different things. I've been on podcasts. There's lots of things that I've done. But there's one thing that I've never really talked about, and it's about the tenacity and having the humility of doing things. Even with all that stuff, I have a fear of flying. As many of my followers know, if you follow me at Celeste the Stylist, there's lots of little videos there of me and my best friend Ricardo. Shout out to Ricardo. Running on planes and how, anxious we get, because it's just a reality of it. Like, I'm terrified of flying. So to go to classes, I have ridden the bus, which is usually for LA, it's like a 30, 45-minute flight. I'll take a 7-hour bus trip one way. Yes, on a bus with strangers. Yes, I still do that. To go take a class and then ride back. That was pre-COVID. And I still don't mind, and I have no problem sweeping, picking up garbage, getting on my knees and cleaning, staying up late, doing swag bags, doing whatever I need to do to have the opportunity to learn, to have the opportunity to do something I want to. I am willing to spend times researching, looking into things, making mistakes to do something new. And that requires a lot of belief in yourself. And I am here to tell you that I believe in you. I am according to the world, I am not the qualified one. According to the world, I just have a high school diploma. I was horrible with my grades. I got into AP classes, AP English. I got into that one because I just loved writing. Writing was an escape zone for me, and I loved reading. I have really high reading comprehension, and I just loved English 1A. I got into, when I applied for junior college, I ended up not going because I got kicked out of my house and I was living out of my car. So there was a point in my life where I was homeless. A lot of people don't know that about me. Why am I sharing this, and why should you care? Because tenacity. We need to be willing to believe in ourselves. It doesn't mean there are moments of like, oh, things happen. It doesn't mean that, oh, everything's going to be in a silver platter. It means that you have the tenacity to believe in yourself and to go after it. Because I truly believe from the bottom of my heart and from my intuition that if you have a dream, if there's an idea in you, it's because you are the one that has the capability of making it come true. Now, whether you want to or not, it's another story. Whether you're willing to put in the work, it's another story. And that's why that part of the movie really resonated with me, because they all get on the bus. They're in this small town, they're successful, their show is sold out, it's a beautiful show and everything, but they get on the bus to go try to go level up to the next level. They don't sleep. In the bus ride over in the movie, you see Mr. Moon, which is like the main director of the shows for them, is there with one of the former stars of the show. They're creating this new show that they're going to pivot to the main guy, right? So that's why I love that part. So anyways, they get in there. He starts hearing them. He does the buster because he says they suck. And then one of the members says, hey, I have this idea about this like crazy space show. And he decides, like, after hearing his idea, and they start singing a song, and Mr. Moon lies and says, oh yeah, we can get that singer to do this, even though nobody has seen him for 15 years. So they get the show, and everything starts to feel like a dream. And then the interesting part comes, which is they have to get this guy, right, to be a part of their show, because without that singer, they cannot have the show. And nobody has seen the guy for 15 years because he's been hiding, and it's like this big artist, right? And that part I associate with the fear of not being enough, the fear that we need that X factor. And I say the fear of the X factor because throughout the movie, even though they're still looking for this person, they continue to do it. They continue to practice. They're making the backgrounds. They're making the show happen. They're preparing to release the show, even though they know that this one piece could tear it all down. Okay? And they believe in the conviction of having this one person. Pretty much then the main guy who owns the hotel, right, where they're going to be performing at, wants the daughter, even though she has no talent for acting, to be a part of the show. And there's this part where he gives Rosita, right, which is like the little piggy. She's so cute. That's played by Reese Witherspoon. He gives her main part to the hotel owner's daughter because he says he must do it. And he pretty much threatens to kill him if he doesn't. I know it's a kid's movie. Or hurt him, we'll say. Threatens to hurt him really bad if he doesn't give his daughter the main part. And the piggy Rosita, she was really scared of heights. So that's why she ends up losing the part. She's heartbroken, but she acts like everything is okay. And she lost the main role. Now she's going to be just like in a smaller, different role. And she's crying. There's this scene where she's in the bathtub and she has 20 million kids. You know, she's a piggy. She has a bunch of piglets and her husband's there. And she's like, hey, can I just have 5 minutes? I just need to be alone. Like, okay, that's fine. And she's crying by herself, and nobody knows that she's upset that she has lost this big opportunity. Maybe you feel like sometimes during your career or during your life, there was this big opportunity and you didn't take it out of fear, and your whole life and career is over. That's how Rosita feels in this. This was her dream. Her dream was to perform in that city. Her dream was to be on that stage. And she gets a primary role, and she declines it because she's scared of heights. And she feels her whole life is over, and she's heartbroken beyond belief. And she puts on this strong face for everybody. There are going to be times in our lives when things are going to feel like that. For me, it was in 2020, my daughter had an accident. She fractured her skull. So I was in ICU, was during, this whole shutdown crap. So I was in there by myself with her. I've never had to be by myself in that type of situation. None of my kids have ever been in the hospital more than like 2 hours because of a fever, So this was a total life-changing experience. I was treated poorly. I rushed out of the house looking like crap because it happened in the morning. I didn't care how I looked like. I wanted my daughter to be safe and to be saved. Because she did have a concussion from it. And in this whole horrible situation, trying to figure out if we're going to be helicoptered out because it was that serious, we ended up being taken over by ambulance to a children's hospital. I felt my life was over. And as I shared that I felt my life was over, there's no amount of accomplishments, money, or anything in this world that can amount to potentially losing the life of a child that you love and that you've given birth to. My baby wasn't even a year old when this happened to her. And she has just started to learn how to walk because she was on a walker. And I'm sharing this because I thought my life was over and nothing mattered. And as all this going on, I'm literally in the hospital when on day 2 of being in ICU with her without a shower or anything or any clothes to change in, nothing. Wearing a mask, being right there next to my daughter, only taking breaks to go use the restroom because I didn't want to leave her sight. We get the announcement, and I see the TV, that we're going to have another shutdown. It was during the big shutdowns in California. I live in California, so we were one of the biggest states, in my opinion, that got really affected because 2020 was mostly freaking shut down. And I was shut down. I shut down for every single shutdown. Part of being also publicly in the eye of the people. So you're in the eye of the people. So I wasn't trying to break laws and all that shit. I didn't want to deal with none of that crap. And it was a really pivotal point for me because for me, it was I didn't know how my daughter was going to be. I didn't know what the consequences of this fall was going to be. I don't know if she was going to be okay. I felt the mom guilt, right? Because you trust people to take care of your child and then shit like this happens. I felt all kinds of things. I thought about all the times that I had been away from home to travel for work, away working, not savoring my daughter, not savoring my children. I had made all the sacrifices for what? Now I'm about to potentially lose my child. And, and then the business going down. And I'm I really don't fucking care. And I feel like Rosita in that part of the movie where she feels like everything is over. I really, truly felt everything was over. I felt like I had lost my career and I had lost my life all in one day. But guess what? Life wasn't over. And my daughter, we were able to come home. Thank God she was little, so it was able to heal on its own. So far, and God willing, we'll see throughout the years, but there's been no repercussion of it, as we can see so far, which I'm very grateful for. And for me, that one moment that I thought my life was over, put a fucking little fire under my ass. So I'm sharing this because sometimes bad shit's gonna happen. Because it's life. It ain't all fucking, amazing. It ain't all bad. It's just life. It's, ups and downs. And just like we need the rain to see the beautiful flowers blossom, it's the same thing with life. And this moment where I thought my life was going to be over, it was actually the beginning. It put this freaking fire under my ass, and I decided to go looking into mobiles. I decided to trust somebody to help me with the mobile for the remodel. I put all my ideas in there, and she was able to bring them to life, some of them. And, then that same year, a couple months later, your girl got hit with COVID when it was really bad, and I lost the full function of my left hand. So imagine having the claw. Have you ever seen the movie from Jim Carrey, Liar Liar? And he does the claw. You know how he does the little claw motion? That's literally how my hand looked. I could not open it. I could not extend my hand, my left hand. So I had to end up, fast forward, in January of 2021, I closed everything down because I lost function of my left hand. And throughout this time, I decided to get a therapist. So always ask for outside help. So now let's go back to the movie. Okay, so Rosita goes through all this. Then Mr. Moon decides that, the owner's daughter, who she has the lead part, she sucks. She cannot, even act for the life of her. So he decides that he wants to demote her. So take her away from the main part to a different part. But she takes it like he fired her, like he doesn't like her, like nobody likes her. And she goes crying to daddy. And then they take her home and she's crying. And daddy decides that she's going to kill Mr. Moon because he sucks and his daughter is everything and he's wrong. So he's about to kill Mr. Moon when remember that main singer that they wanted for the show that was going to make or break the show? He decides to come and through. He hadn't performed. He had been hiding because he lost the love of his life and he felt broken. But he has hope. Okay, so he comes to the show, and now they all have to leave because Mr. Moon's about to get killed along with all of his little friends that are putting on the show, right? Because he fired the owner's daughter from the show. And so they all escape. And there's this beautiful scene in the movie where the main guy, remember the guy who was hiding for 15 years because he was so sad by the death of his wife? He says, I know that hiding or running away from things is not going to help anything. Trust me, I should know. And so Mr. Moon decides that, we're going to put on the show behind the hotel owner's back. And we're going to make this happen. No matter what happens. No matter what happens to him. No matter if he dies, he's going to end up going for it. And they make the show happen. And the hotel owner almost kills Mr. Moon. But Rosita faces her fear of heights and saves Mr. Moon, and the bad guy gets taken to jail, and they do their show. And at the end of the show, they all get on the bus again. Talk about humble pie. And I think they all realized that it was never about getting into Vegas. It was never about having the big show. It's about the importance of believing in yourself, that you are capable of going after your dreams, but that maybe success is not what everybody plays it to be. That maybe being successful isn't your own definition of it, and that they were successful from the beginning and they don't need the big city to feel successful. And I'm sharing this because as I lost, my hand ability, and I was about to grow exponentially my business. And as many have told me, I was in the peak of my career, they say. Because I don't believe it was. It was a moment that helped me, and I can tell you now in 2022, January of 2022, all that shit I've gone through and all the adversity I've gone through and many things that you guys don't know has helped me be wiser and more empathetic of other people. It's helped me to have empathy towards people that wish me harm. It has makes me be empathetic of people that do, of others' feelings, of others' lives, because we do not know what people are going through. And it has made me really step into my power that success is individual. I have been saying this for the past 3 years. Success is individual. You need to have your own definition of what success means to you. Because when success has your meaning, not what the world says, not what your colleagues said, not what your industry says, but what you believe in, you will be so much more happier. And I learned that the hard way. I learned that I have, I'm sort of healthy, right? So I'm pretty healthy. None of us are sick right now. We're all healthy. My husband has an awesome job. I have a job that I work from home. I'm able to be with my daughter. I'm able to pick up my kids. I'm able to live the life I've always wanted. And it's not according to what social media or my industry says. It's according to my rules. And I feel successful in my own way. Not in the ways of the world, not in the way of the industry, in the way of Celeste. And I want you to have your own meaning of what success means to you and to start living your life today based on your meaning. Because when we are happy inward, it protrudes outward. And when we start accepting that life's happening for you, for us, for me, life's happening for me. Even all this stuff that sounds horrible in context is actually amazing. It has made me a better, kinder person. It has made me understand that same year, I decided we had a lease. I had a brand new Lexus. And, I love my Lexus. I already have another one. But it was super sporty, super nice Lexus, right? I decided to I don't want that Lexus. I want a freaking old 2013 Highlander to haul my little trailer and to haul my kids in. And that was most important to me. So I let go of what the world sees as successful, having a nice, super sporty Lexus, and traded it in for a Highlander. I decided to start shifting my life. I've never been big into brands, but I now have my clothes, and I shift my clothes all the time. I have my winter clothes, my summer clothes. I know what I have. I take care of myself. I put on makeup, what makeup feels good to me every day. I do my hair, it feels good to me. I get dressed what feels good to me, not according to the world, but to me. I'm starting to live a successful life for myself, for what success means to me. A life where I'm no longer worrying about if I say the wrong thing, if I lose followers. I don't care. I had 3,000 followers. Over 3,000 followers, I lose them. It's fine. I am using my authentic voice. It's no longer about the fear of I'm doing the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. I'm living success under my own eyes, under my own life. And if people are like, well, yeah, look, like she cannot keep followers. Good. Think whatever you want. Like, I really don't fucking care. I'm living life under my terms. And I want you to take the power back to start living your life under your own terms. Because when you do, this is when the beauty happens. We hear this in like people's little cute Instagram quotes and things. I telling you, I'm here living testimony and person that shit does really happen. So in the movie, they all get in the bus, right? So they'll get their own humble pie, right? And they're like, okay, we saw this biggest thing. It's not what success, what people see. We have our own meaning. All of them, including that big artist, is willing to go back to a small town and perform with them and be with them, okay? Because he has found his true calling of what it is, that it was always for the people and for himself. And he's willing to go live his life now, even though he's sad that his wife died. So they're leaving Las Vegas when one of the persons that used to work for the mean guy from the hotel owner, because the hotel owner ends up going to jail because he tried to kill Mr. Moon, right? She's like, stop the bus. This other hotel wants your show. Do you guys want to do it? And Mr. Moon, right, because he had humble pie and he learned from his mistakes, asked the big artist that's with them that was missing for 15 years, like, hey, do you want to do this? And he nods yes. And they all get excited, and now their dream has come true because not only are they going to be able to perform in Vegas like they always wanted to, now they have their own show in a hotel, in a place where it's under their terms, and they're appreciated. And that's how the story ends. And for me, so how does my story end? Well, my story doesn't end. My story is still being written, but after all the things that I've gone through, I was able to be published on another magazine. I was able to be on another podcast, which is, important to what the world sees, I guess. For me, some of the beautiful things that did happen is that I was able to pivot. I'm building what I call my dream little like mobile business right now. I haven't been sharing much about it because there's been life happening. Life sometimes is going to happen. Remember I told you? So my husband just had surgery. He just went back to work. So he's doing all good. So I had to focus on him. That was important to me. I know life happens for me. And maybe it just wasn't the right time. And maybe that hiccup was just time to keep processing more on what exactly I wanted. Because I know without a doubt what I want to do with that second mobile. I'm working with a team. And they're finishing up the 3 websites that are going to be up and running soon. I'm able to enjoy my life. I've been less anxious lately. I've been more happy lately because I know this is my life. Every day I get to wake up and I know how to manage my time and I get to do everything I want to and more. I have been able to meet some incredible women. I have been able to really be more empathetic of women that deal with depression, that deal with anxiety, debilitating anxiety and depression. I have been able to get help by a therapist. I have learned different coping mechanisms for myself. And I'm sharing this podcast today because it felt in my heart of hearts that it was the right thing to do. I'm sharing about this movie, Sing 2, which was so good. I totally recommend that you watch it so you understand it more. Because the fear of losing it all is what keeps us small. And from a person that has graduated high school with, I think if I was lucky, a 2.0, even if that GPA. Well, I must have, or else I couldn't graduate. From a girl that has lived out of her car, from a woman that's been divorced before. A lot of people know that about me. A mama of 3. There's so many things about me that so many people don't know about me. From a woman that has a little cyst in her brain that sometimes gives her really dizzy spells, and I've learned how to live with that. from all of the things that I've gone through, it has given me the wisdom to be the human I am today. And I feel grateful and blessed. And that's why I did my post on Celeste the Stylist. Health is wealth. Because I was healthy for 29 years of my life and I took it for granted. And when I turned 30 is when the diagnosis came. I was in beauty school, and even though with all the opposition, even in beauty school, telling people to quit, they told me to quit. You should just quit. You're not going to be able to be in this industry. You're not going to be successful in this industry. They told me that. And I have proved them wrong, but that's how it all started. I wanted to prove them wrong. But now I want to prove myself. I want to be an example for myself, for my girls, for women out there who maybe come from, like me, bilingual, families, who maybe were adopted, who maybe have gone through adversity, who are maybe first generation women like myself, that we're able to break generational ties, that we're able to go after our dreams, and that when we're on top, when you decide to do that, and when you are in your best scenario of your life or your business, when you are starting to accomplish big dreams, don't limit yourself. Don't be scared of losing it all, because our life goes through ebbs and flows, and so does our business. We evolve. That's the beauty of it. We get to become better people as we grow. And part of evolving and part of changing is we have to let things go. Things are going to have to fall out of it. It's just part of it. And I really wanted to share this message with you today, because part of your success is going to be what people call failures, but see more of the fallout of making room for something better and new. I know that the shedding I've gone through this past 2 years, in 2020 and 21, were part of my journey to be able to make room for what's new, what's going to come. I don't know everything that's going to come. I don't know everything that's going to be next in my path. But I have faith that sharing my story is going to inspire women to not only do things that I've done, but to do better things and greater things than I'm even doing. I know that sharing your story is going to inspire other people to go after their dreams, to be able to try those new things. Because your voice matters. My voice matters. Your journey matters. My journey matters too. And your meaning of success is what's going to keep you going when things get hard. Your meaning of success is what's going to keep you going when the fear of losing things, and you end up losing them sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, we need to shed those things so we can make the room for new, better things in your life. You will be okay. I'm not saying it's going to be a walk in the park. I'm not saying it's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so great. You may have trouble releasing it. But once you let it go, and I do this sigh because you're going to feel such a relief that there's something better coming for you. And with this podcast, as we start 2022, I am here to tell you that this is for you. You get to decide to change your life. You get to decide to change your business. And the one thing that we all have control over, and you do too, is your perception of things, is your mindset of things, is how you see things. Instead of dwelling in sadness or food or, binge watching Netflix or just taking courses or listening to outer voices, I have decided to actually take the time to be like, okay, there's this void and there is some room in my life, because I'm planning for this new things happening. I still have some clients in here. Okay, good. And there's this room, and it's okay, because that room is going to be filled with what life has for me, for the new blessings and the new people that are going to be a part of my community, a part of my tribe. And when you start thinking about that, life changes for you. So to end this podcast today, I want to leave you with a question to reflect on. My question for you is, what does success mean to you? And what is your biggest fear that you're going to lose right now in business? So if tomorrow you lost that thing that's important to you in business, what would happen? Would you still have people that love you? You probably would. Will some people see you different? Yeah. But some people are going to still see you the same and love you even more because you're courageous and you're sharing your journey and you're sharing and being brave and keep taking that step forward. And the moment that we start seeing life is happening for us and we start seeing, instead of the fear of failure or losing things, we start saying like, okay, failure is just a lesson. I'm going to get wisdom out of it and something better is going to come in my life in place of that. The way that our life will start changing, and maybe I start seeing now, instead of fear of losing, things. I'm not trying to swear. I'm trying to be good. Instead of fear of losing things, I see things as, okay, if I fail and everybody sees me fail, it's totally okay because guess what? That's the lesson that I needed to learn and something better is going to happen from that. And it always does. And that has been my lesson this past 2 years that I wanted to share with you, because being in business, being a part of life is neither one thing or another. Life is not only business. Life is the biggest gift that we have. This is your life. You're in the driver's seat. So decide what your destination is and decide what shortcuts and what road trips you want to plan for yours, because it's your life. You're in charge and you get to do with it what you want to. So much love. I will see you next week. Bye.